Alright, welcome Shippo. This is the tier list for heavy. And just before we start, disclaimers. 3 disclaimer. 1, this is my personal opinion. You can disagree and agree. I don't care. 2nd, this is not final, meaning that it is subject to change, depends on what the developer wanted to do on the later in the future. For thirdly, study on your own, right? Read up the skill, try it out, investigate by yourself, decide whether that unit is useful or not, or you don't give a shit and you just go by the appearance. That's fine by well. So that's the disclaimer. And then I have OP, A, B, and trash. So let's start with, and I will tell you how many unit you're supposed to acquire, so and so for every single character, and I'll try to put up chapters for each where each units are. All right. So let's start from the SS attacker. So first one is Labiata. Definitely at OP. You can only get one. And she is O because she buffs everyone, and her attack bypasses a lot of the stuff. And then all of her attacks are AOE, and and she just does stupid amount of damage if you can buff her. She is slightly behind the ID, Invincible Dragon, but by herself, right? She's decent. Only downside for her is probably that she's slow, meaning that she has low AP, and then she is expensive. And all heavies are expensive, so there is not kind of no other way to go about it. So I would say Labiata is at OP, and you only get one, so you just get one and then you use a SS core to full link it. There is no other way. Alright, moving on to the next one is Emily. I really want to put her on the B rank, but she does A or B. I am really struggling with this one. She's in the borderline at this point. And she's expensive too compared to the other ones. Let's see. If I wanted to put, those are totally trash. It's really hard. It's really hard. You know what? I'm going to give her A. She's a borderline in the B rank, between A and B, but I have to give her A rank, just because her attacks are bypasses a lot of stuff as well. Same rank, almost same as Labiata. The problem is her, her buffs are only for herself, no one else. So she buffs up a lot on her, and she does a lot of damage. And the additional problem that she has is that she takes the damage. She needs to be broken, and then she needs to take the damage to attack. Well, she takes the damage whenever she attacks at the end of a turn. So that's something that you cannot bypass at all, and that makes it really hard to use her effectively on the farming team, unless you can clear entire the wave in a one turn, within one turn that she attacked, which is doable, but it's kind of hard to set it up. But she does a lot of damage. In the beginning of the LO Last Origin, she would have been definitely on the A rank, but now she's slipping down into B rank. Anyway, you need to get a 6 for full link. Alright, Sirene. Oh my god. This hurts me more than I can say. but she is. I want to really put her in the trash. This is not a problem with the thing, but I'll give her in the B rank, just because she does a lot of buffing too. The problem with the Siren is that we got a better option, which is the ID. ID is just better version of Siren. They both do AoE, they both buff a lot of the unit, but ID buffs anyone regardless pretty good. For Siren, she buffs a lot of the no, she doesn't buff a lot, but you know, they both buff a lot of units, but the problem is Siren just doesn't do as much as the ID, and her damage is, you know, not that great compared to what ID can do. So she is B rank. Used to be I guess it's still B rank, but she's slipping to the trash. Unless she gets a full buff soon enough, she's belong to a trash. Almost. So I say 6 for full link. Next, Sadius. B rank. She's not typically bad by herself. She's actually pretty good, you know, to use. But the problem is that her support units are not that great. The team that she needs to be with is the City Guard team, which is a Servant, Safety, Cerberus, Rampart, Puppet, and Lien. And I think only the Cerberus and Lien is the A rank that I can put it on, whereas the other 3 or 4 based on the Rampart maybe belong to B or A rank. B rank probably, most of them. So she's very good if you use that team, but that team doesn't have any attacker. So she's only attacker surrounded by a tank. It's not a good formation, no matter how you say about it, even though she does good damage. And then she needs some kind of wetness, water debuff, and that takes a lot of things. So solid B rank. Maybe City Guard gets an attacker, she might go up. Anyway, 6 for full link. Rena, trash. Unfortunate. I really want her to be good, but it's just that she doesn't, like, her AoE is small, almost non-existent. She only attacks 1 pretty much. She does buff herself a lot, and then very particular space of the reason. However, her team that she has to bring is completely garbage. This is a problem. Her teammates that she has to bring is completely garbage. All of them is either defender and support. There's only one attacker, which is a Tai Chien, which is completely trash too. So I wish she was a good. By herself, she probably is better than anyone else in that she need to bring it, but just don't need to use it. Doesn't need to, like, her buffs are not big enough for covering it, and then, you know, just hard to use, and then not a good damage dealer in the first place either. It just doesn't work. 6 for full link. Ramiel is the very recent and the last SS attacker, and I say she is around B rank. She's potentially can go up to A rank. The problem is that she does not. Her uses are very gimmicky. She needs to be in a broken state, so she's very vulnerable, and then she needs to do she needs a lot of fire debuff resistance to the enemy to be useful. But the whole her concept kind of involves with using the Kyoei team, which is not really ideal for her. She probably used better to use with Black Wyrm, Lien, and then probably Shirayuri. But those are not that synergy with it, and then she's very slow because of heavy. So she's only a B rank. She does definitely good damage, just hard to use it for now, but you could get there. Oh man, Emily just slightly better than these 3. Slightly, ever so slightly. Alright. 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 Now moving on to the S attacker. S.Calista is... It's... Alright, I'm just gonna give a B rank. She is definitely A rank material if she can get a buff. She only have S rank. She does a roll attack and she does lots of damage, and she completely neglects her protection from the somewhere else. But you know, as long as you do damage and then kill everything in one shot, who cares? But the problem is that she doesn't have SS rank, so it doesn't get there. It just doesn't make there, and she only buffs herself. So, oh sorry, Ramiel 6 for full link, and then S.Calista 6 for full link as well. All right, Beast Hunter, trash, doesn't do anything. It's a bad version of Emily, and only buffs herself. And why? Why would you use her? Like her. Like, why would you use her if you have Emily? Why would you use her if you have a S.Calista? S.Calista does well as much as the Beast Hunter, but just better. So unfortunately, Beast Hunter goes down as a trash. I mean, some people like her. In terms of story, she hasn't come out yet that much either. So, 6 for full link. Nereid. Nereid. I really want her to be A rank, but she's just at the B rank. Like, she got so many minor buffs in a way to be good, and she just doesn't do good damage. That's the problem. Like, she get a buff, you know, she can be revived once, but it just buff herself, and then she doesn't do enough damage. She even have her unique item, but she just doesn't do enough damage. That is a problem. Anyway, 6 for full link. Spartoia. Some people won't like this, but trash. She does a roll attack for the first attack, but active 1 is same cost as active 2 anyway, so what's the point? And here's a problem. She does the roll attack, however, she's not the only one who does roll attack, right? And you know, Emily does it, everyone does it. Why would you use her? She's very slow, like not cost effective. You know, damage is not as strong as Emily, so why would you use her? It's just expensive. So yeah, unfortunately, she's a Spartoia is trash. 6 for full link. Salamander, A rank. This is very peculiar because there's no reason why Salamander by herself would be a rank, but it's unfortunately, or fortunately enough for her, is that she is belong to con team, and when she is in the con team, she is like fantastic, like does so much damage to the enemy, you know, does so many support attack. It's ridiculous to not have a Salamander in the con. So I like her, and she does a fire damage among the cons team. Otherwise, if she wasn't belong to con team, she would probably fall below to B rank, and then just doesn't do much. Yeah, some people don't like my tier list. Yeah, so the Salamander is only A rank just because she's belong to con team. You can't use her separately outside of con team, and I have found that she does good damage regardless if she belongs to or not. Also, she gets the enemy fire debuff resistance, which is kind of rare. Alright, moving on to the next one, which is the A rank. By the way, the heavy doesn't have B rank, so it's a lot shorter. EO is... Where's EO? I have to say A rank. She's pretty good if you actually SS rank her. You know, does a lot of buffs to herself, buff to the Armamenian or Canonia. Does lots of damage. She has the same damage section as the damage AoE as the Beast Hunter, but if you SS rank her, she's very useful. A power as a S.Calista. The might be hard for the newbies to get her to the SS rank, but otherwise she's a solid pick. If you can't have her, just use S.Calista basically. So yeah, 6 for full link, 6 for full link for the Salamander as well. You have a Spriggan. Trash. Can't. She does only one solo target, and then I think for now she just buff herself. If she get a maybe S rank or SS rank, probably she go up, but for now we don't get it. We can't have it. She's at the trash rank. 6 for full link for both IO and Spriggan. Pani is also trash. Used to be Pani was like a good AP pump for the heavy attacker, but now we got the the Lemonade. She is no longer needed. She's just not worth it. Lemonade does so much better than her. So unfortunately, single target, only one self buff, kind of ish buffy, doesn't make it. Yeah, trash. 6 for full link. Lumberjane. Where's Lumberjane? There we go. Trash. I really tried to use her, and then even tried it. Problem is, she's a stackable unit, and then stackable sucks in the last origin, so she's a trash. I have like only an A rank, and then like if they both all then get to SS rank, might be they go up. Like EO did. EO by A rank, like just completely useless, but she gets so much better with the rank up. So maybe they have a potential 6 for full link as well. Alright, going to a SS defender. So first one is the probably the Bloody Panther. So what makes Bloody Panther really good is that her defense just increase by, what is it, skill that just flatly over increase her defense by 100%. So she's the probably tankiest defense tank. Not other tank, but you know, in terms of defense tank, she's pretty good. Also, she get a lot of debuff resistance as well. So if you stack up some debuff resistance and then, you know, maybe damage reduction, shield, something like that, she's pretty decent tank. And she does lots of single target damage that's pretty useful. She's slight to sleep away, but if you want to just solid tank that can take anything, yeah, use a Bloody Panther. Alright, next one is Echidna. She is also A rank. She does lots of, like, you know, as a heavy, she has a good defense, but that's not the why she's pretty good. She's good because she debuffs enemy speed as her passive without doing anything. As long as she's in there, she debuffs resistance. and then she can put a electric resistance to herself and the ally, but that's not that high. She have also debuff resistance. It makes nice, but also she gets a lot of buffs to the ally, so she's a more of a less tier in terms of defensive compared to the bloody Panther, but she is also pretty tanky as well as a buffing character. I forgot the number of units. So 7 for the bloody Panther and 7 for the Echidna. So 6 for full link, 1 for no link. Alright? Alright. Black Wyrm. Oh my god, this is going to hurt some people. Yeah. I have to go give her B rank. B tier. The problem is Black Wyrm is that she's very specific for fire team. Otherwise, there's no reason to use Black Wyrm. Just use Echidna or Bloody Panther if you need a tank. She is only there to reduce the fire resistance to the enemy, which deals a lot of damage if you use a fire team. But that makes her situational. That makes her less useful. So I would say she is B tier. And you want a 7, 6 for full link, 1 for no link. Alright, the last SS defender is the Eternity, and you know where all she goes. Up tier. I can't stress enough how stupid her damage is as a tank. She doesn't. If you look at her damage buff that she gets for just protecting one broken unit, the damage she does is stupidly insane. So, and she does protect one unit pretty well as long as it's broken. It's just ridiculous. Like when ID first introduced, the whole meta shifted because ID was so old. When Eternities come out, whole meta shifted to the Eternity because she was so old. Like she is probably the second ID that they made in the whole thing, and she gets even better once we get to the SS support. So she's in off tier. You need to get at least 7, 6 for full link, 1 for no link. All right, moving to the S tier. Hachiko is not A rank, but B rank. Why can't she put in there? Alright, she's decent. She's not bad. She does the protection based on the her passive. She doesn't cover that much, but she's pretty tanky and does lots of buff to the allies in terms of the if she uses second active. So she's just good, not old, not bad, just good. So she's belong to B tier, and then you need a 7 for full link. So 7, so 6 for full link, 1 for no link. Coco is, gosh, I would have loved to put her in the trash tier, but I have to put in the B tier just because she is quite better at the elemental resist. She is excellent elemental resist, but doesn't protect too much in terms of allies. But if you stuck in the Coco and the Neodim, basically you don't have to worry about elemental damage at all. So in that sense, she's B rank. Otherwise, she'll be just going to trash. If they both get SS rank, they might go up. But for now, I don't know. You don't need to get a lot for 6 or 7 for 1 full link and 1 no link. Next one is Ignis. I say around there. So when you first start the Last Origin, there aren't many fire attackers that you can't use. It's very specific fire attackers, right? You need to like Ignis, Ramiel, you're not gonna get Ramiel. Or Salamander. There are Stinger. Yeah, there aren't many fire like Fokuru. There aren't many fire attacker. Yuri. Yeah, I can't think of any like decent fire attacker that you can get in the very beginning, and then. But Ignis is a tank at the same time as an AOE fire attacker, so in a sense that she is more useful than the black one when the fire attack is a gimmick. So I would say she's a solid B rank. She's not bad, but she's not that old to be going to A rank. So yeah, 6 for full link, or 1 for no link, whichever. You gotta choose whether you have a 6 or 7. Babariana, trash. She is falling into the same problem with the Atlante or Iron Annie. She protects weird, and she is like trying to be an attacker at the same time trying to be a defender, and that just does not work for the tank that well. Except Eternity. Yeah, Eternity is the exception that just racks everything, because her AoE is pretty big compared to the Babariana as well. So yeah, so unfortunate. She might go better. Maybe her AoE is bigger. Yeah, it just doesn't cut it. So yeah, 6 for full link. All right, going to the A.Draco, trash. She even have S rank. The problem is her team, like, it's weird. Like, you need to make her. She make the front unit to counter attack. The problem is she have to be. It's hard to trigger passive. She's as good as defensive as the Hachiko, but she is a gimmick to be used within the Monkus team, and then I just can't find a use for her other than being a Monkus team. Or you can put in the Brownie team, but why would you do that? You know, it's dumb. So yeah, no, I'm gonna put her into the trash, and then 6 for full link. Saetti is on B rank, just because she does the back row buff with AP and attack, so she's a decent buff and a tank. So if you can use her, you can also decrease the AP onto the enemy onto one single target. By all round, she's decent defender that buffs and debuffs the enemy based on how you use it. So I would say solid B rank. 7. Yeah, 6 for full link and 1 for no link. All right, moving on to the where is it? I need to check. Yeah, moving on to the SS tier support. Okay, Loyal Arsenal. Wow, she's really belong to trash. I really don't want to do this, but she belongs to trash. For newbie, you have absolutely no reason to raise her, because she buffs very specifically to the heavy unit. She's a fantastic buff for heavy unit, but heavy units are very, very expensive. It's the problem. You want to have as little heavy unit as possible when you make it into a team, and Loyal Arsenal just doesn't let you do that. You go all in with the Loyal Arsenal, and she belongs to the, what is that called? AA Cannoneer, which is I believe EO The Beast Hunter, Pani, and who's like one that doesn't really buff by her. Who's Cannoneer? I'm sure it's Io and is it Spriggan is also Cannoneer? Yeah, so Pani is no, Io is Armor Maiden. Wow. Spriggan, Armor Maiden. Lumberjane, Golden Walkers, S.Calista, Armor Maiden. So Io, not it. Pani, Beast Hunter. Who else was in there? Emily. Yeah. So Emily, Pani, and Beast Hunter. Think of a team you can't make with the Emily, Pani, Beast Hunter. Not that great. So unfortunately, you can still use her if you want to, but you just want to stop it with a heavy attacker, which is just doesn't cut it. And her active 2 buff AoE is pretty weird square. You want to be like full area buff, so maybe she get a buffs. She might move to A rank, but it's just that she only buffs the heavy attack. That's kind of meh-ish. It's really, this is the same thing as Emily. Emily just belongs between A and B, and Arsenal belongs to B and trash. Yeah, I'll just leave her there. 7. No, you just need a 1 or 6, depends on how you want to do it on her. Saetti, you need if I didn't say it. Yeah, 7. Yeah. Alright, moving to a doctor is A rank. Unlike Arsenal, Doctor does a good buff to the allies and debuffs the enemies. Her buffs are smaller AoE. But thing it is, she acts like attacker. This is the funny thing. She's a support, but her damage is really decent. And also her second active remove debuffs. And removing debuffs definitely provides the additional upgrade in the tier list. So Doctor is definitely A rank. You need 6 full link. You don't need a 7. You could put a low cost team, but definitely 7. Definitely 6. Alright, moving to the Lemonade. You know where she's going. She's in the S up tier. I have to, because for 3 there are 3 units in the last version that you can only obtain 1, and that is S.Labiata and Lemonade. And Lemonade, like, she is the must to use with the heavy team, because she's a heavy, and then additional heavy triggers her third passive, which increases the AP of the all the heavy units. She brings them to the first one to attack, which means they can do lots of damage very quickly and clear the way fast. This is probably why the lower Arsenal went down, because she used to be when she wasn't there, lower Arsenal was in there to buff up the heavy team. But as soon as Lemonade is introduced, she pretty much has been forgotten. Like, no one uses after her. So, and then she also buffs not only heavy, also depends on how many light and flying attackers up there. But those buffs are not that good as the heavy, so she's mainly used with the heavy team. But you can definitely use her onto the the light and the flying. And her active does the damage that bypasses everything. Her second active also, does the range reduction to the enemy, which is probably only one other unit. Neodim has it, and probably one few more, but I can't think of one. So she's definitely up tier, and you can only have one. So you might want to be holding her to be full link, because you don't necessarily use her for attacking, you necessarily use her for buff, and no link is quite useful for cheap run. So I would hold back for full linking it, but you can if you want. Doesn't make it stuff. Alright, Starfish. Oh my god. I have to go give her a Starfish. B rank at least. Because she have SS rank, she have 2 unique. 1 unique is completely useless. The other uniques just bring her from trash to, to the, B rank. So she does elemental damage, which means that she can bypass the defense. Pretty decent. For the first attack. She belongs to the Mongoose team, and she is the main dealer in the Mongoose team, beside the Miho. So, and she is support but acts like an attacker. This is why she's only a B rank. If she was an attacker, she'd probably at the A rank at that point. But her, support team is the Mongoose, and Mongoose is kind of trash, except Miho. And Miho doesn't go well with a Starfish, so it's kind of iffy. And, it's kind of hard to use, but decent attacker as a support. So that makes it real weird and kind of iffy. So 6 for full link, the B tier. Oh, Triaina. So nobody knows what her name is. It's Triaina. She's between B and trash. Is she useful than more than the any of these units in here? Nope. She doesn't. The problem is, she's a decent buff resistant in terms of tankiness of elemental resist buff. It's just that her past actives are kind of trash as well. If her second active does wetness, has a debuff of the wetness, she probably goes up to B rank at least. The problem is it doesn't, and it's kind of useless for a unit that does water damage, that doesn't have wetness, and can't synchronize with any other team that she can possibly use. So she is trash at the moment. If the SMR Joy changes her second active to include wetness, she's definitely going up. But for now, she's trash. 6 for filling. You don't need more. Mery. She's between A and B. But I'll say B. You don't need her much. She's mainly there for buffing. Her active 2 is kind of random buffs, random units. It's decent if you can actually give to the specific unit. So 2 units in the whole team. And she's the one that gives the shield and then damage reduction ignore. So she is very decent in that sense. But there are other buffs that does more buffs than her, but she's very specific in that case as well. So I have to give a B rank. She's in the between A and B. Hard to put in the middle. Like she's about the same as Emily, just middle in between. But I have to just put it down into B because her passive range is pretty small as well. So you will use her sometimes. So it's gonna be I say 7, 6 for fooling and 1 for no link. Because you will use her. Alright, Ifrit, trash. I don't have to explain. Well, I'll explain. Her buffs are kind of... It's only for accuracy buff. So, it's kinda iffy. and then she reduces the AP to the enemy, which you can do with other units like doctors. You can probably do it with the Saetti as well, and the cost is for removing AP is pretty high, so kind of she's trying to be attacker as well, so it's meh as well. Like, there are better attacker than these units are, so she's a trash. 6 for full link, even though she has S rank. Alright, the last one, the elves. Oh my god. I believe when I put the Dark Elf, she was kind of useless, B rank. Sorry, trash. And I put Celestia B rank, if I remember correctly. I think. Elves are also in a B rank. In a fact that she can do a water debuff in a row, but she has to be used with the allies. And it's kind of iffy. And her unique item is trying to make her use as tank, whereas her stats are more towards to the attacker. So she's in a really weird situation where her unique item is making her tank, and then she's not good at tanking. So it might be better if you just use her as a support, which is not tanking. She is definitely useful in that sense, and she does water wet buff, unlike Triaina, in a row. In the sense that she's just belong to B rank, and then you want to use the 6 for full link. Alright, that is for the heavy units, and I have one more left, which is the just AGS. I did it separately just because they're kind of a separate entity that you have to look through. There are not many crossover between those two. You can use it in terms of crossover, but it's a little bit harder, and then like, you mainly get the units by from farming, and you mainly get the AGS from researching. So people have a different tiers of how to get the research. So I had to do that separately. That was my decision for that. Why I need to do it separately, just because it's quite a different entity to use it. You can definitely use it crossover, but it just how you acquire it kind of doesn't match up with the other one. So yeah, and that's it for me. I'll try to save in. I try to upload this in, and put a chapter so that you can pick a which unit and what their tier list, what the explanation is. That means I have to watch the whole thing anyway. Yeah. So bye, sheeple.